Hola.
¿Cómo está? We're gonna get in so much trouble for that.
Bien. Yes, bien. Okay, there we go.
We love everybody. Like
I do.
You know, they already hate us, so
yeah, because we definitely got dragged. Yeah, can we
take a pause and talk about it.
We're actually gonna talk about that
because I don't understand what we did to y'all.
Like,
I really do not get it.
We did our episode on Vietnam, right? And it was posted, and in the comments we have all this dragging from the people about well, this is what black people did to Latinos, and like, you know, like it's not like a contest to see who's more oppressed here. And I just want to go ahead and say this and go ahead and clear the air. This show is called Bleducation, right? So, and that's a breakdown of black and education, right? So, you know, like we are teaching and talking about history from the perspective that we want to talk about it from. And that is not to discredit anyone else's experience or minimize anyone else's experience. But if you want to talk about discrimination that Latinos face, especially in Vietnam, then create a podcast and talk about your whatever you want to talk about. We are good over here.
Right. And also that is not our place. If we're being honest and very realistic about it, that is not our place to talk about because it's not the experience of our culture, our ancestors, or anything like that. So again, it's really not our place to even step in and discuss those particular things. And for that particular episode, we were talking about the experience of Black GIs. So we just wanted to put that out there. Like, mad love to everybody, but at the end of the day, this is a podcast about Black education and Black experience. So that is our focus for the most part. And even if we do talk about something that isn't necessarily directly related to Black people, we are talking about it from a Black perspective. So again, it's all Black over here, shorty. So
yeah, I love that you said that in a professional way because I wasn't going to.
I'm the nice one.
I'm not. Like I just have a problem with like the all lives matter thing. Like I mean, like we're talking about Black people. Like let's stay on task, right? like let's focus here. Okay.
But again, all love. I mean, thank y'all for listening. Shit.
Yeah. Please continue to listen and provide us with feedback, and we will take everything.
He will respond to everything.
We'll take what you say into consideration. I don't care. But... Okay. Well, shoot. Okay, anyways. So today we're going to talk about Black Cowboys, okay? Black Cowboys, all right? So I just want to go ahead and clear that up real quick.
Oh, you're a menace.
Look, listen. Anyways, so...
Actually, though, one more thing before we get started. I just want to talk about my shirt. Shout out to my homeboy Jordan, who found this at the thrift store and almost refused to sell it to me, but then did it anyway. I would like to point out that it is the gay agenda, but on Tuesdays it's all about tacos because facts. So yeah, today is brunch gay.
Oh yeah, so
I didn't even make it to a brunch because we're here, but
yeah, we should have mimosas.
I know, fuck.
It's okay.
You know what? Next time.
Okay.
Cool. But yeah, my shirt's really cool and I love it. So
okay, cool.
Gang. And now we're gonna talk about Black Cowboys.
Giddy up. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So let's dive. Something is really wrong with us.
What's wrong with you?
Well,
I feed off your energy.
You feed into it. You enable me. Okay. All right. Cool. Right. Black Cowboys. Okay. So when we think about the Wild Wild West, you know, we think about the Band-Aids. We think about.
I think about Will Smith in that awful movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it was pretty fucking
I actually think
bad.
about Westworld a little bit too now. So, but like you know, like and Westworld's a good show. I'm into it, but yeah, a lot of people like don't automatically associate cowboys with Black people,
which blows me.
Well, maybe in Texas they do.
I was about to say because I'm from the South, so I feel like
I didn't.
That's like an immediate thought for me.
Yeah, but what you actually find out is that 25% of cowboys, especially in that period from 1860 to 1880, where you have that the Wild Wild West, if you will, happening. 25% of those cowboys were Black,
as they should be.
Yes, and it makes sense actually if you think about it. We did an episode recently about the Great Migration, and we talked about a lot of Black people going north, but you do also have some people that says, let's go west, right?
Yeah.
Let's go out here. And I think the mindset is like this area is not heavily populated. So maybe we have less of a chance of dealing with discrimination or racism. Also, economic opportunities too,
and land.
And land.
And I think that with that too, it's also a comfort thing because I feel like, so I come from a family of Black Cowboys, like, so this is not foreign to me at all. Like, I absolutely, this is my whole thing. But like, I feel like it's also a comfort thing. Like, I have cousins that like will literally refuse to move out of our hometown just because like they know the area, they know how to cultivate the land, they know like their horses, like they know when the grass turns a certain color, what that means for like literally the way the horses are pooping and shit like that. Like just random like weird ass shit like that. They know things like that. So like they know how to farm, they know how to be farmers, they know how to be cowboys. So like if they were going to move, they're absolutely going to move to a place that is very similar to that. And I feel like that's what we saw with that transition west. Because it's like, while some of these things may be different, the elements may be different here, I feel like it's like a place of comfort because they know it's going to be land. I'm going to be able to work with this land and make some money.
And the fact that they're even getting land, because a lot of Black people were owed land particularly after the Civil War. And
my damn 40 acres and a mule, bitch.
Them white people was not giving them their land, or they were giving them like really shitty land, if you will.
Can't grow shit on.
So, so they're leaving and going west. This is one of the only industries at the time where you see a sense of equality or equity with Black people and white people. And of course, we still got to have some racism because America. But it's not going to be as prevalent and rampant as in, other more populated areas. So you have some instances like where you do see some Black men and white men are actually getting paid equally, and they're also sharing responsibility. But then you also still have some structures of racism that are occurring where like these Black people are cowboys, but they might be like the cooks, or they might be the ones that are wrangling, or they might be like the trail hands, which are really the lower tier jobs. You also are going to have a mixing or a meshing of people, because you have white people, you have Black people, you're also going to have Native Americans that are also going to have a part in this, and then you're also going to have Latino or Hispanic people. See, there you go. You're gonna have a meshing of of these cultures, right? So initially, a lot of Black people are going to go to Kansas. Why Kansas? I don't know, but that's where they wanted to go. And then they're going to start trickling west. So it's, again, like with the Great Migration, you're going to have like this immediate mass exodus this way, and then it's going to kind of thin out and start to gradually. That's my word. You're going to gradually start spreading west. But even with that, again, I have to reiterate racism. Yeah. Did you actually know that the word cowboy had racial connotations?
Oh my God. They ruined everything. What do you mean?
Because what do white people call Black men? Call them boys, right? So
why would they do that?
There is a distinguishing, and because white people were called cow hands, right? So there's this tier, and because Black men in particular were always called boys, that's where you get the term cowboy from.
Wow, I literally did not know that. Yep. I cannot wait to tell my cousins. They're gonna be so fucking pissed.
Yeah, so it's really, really crazy too.
I'm sorry, but I wonder if that's why. So a lot of I've just personally noticed a lot of people back like towards where I'm from, they have started calling themselves like ranch hands instead of cowboys. And I wonder if that has any type of relevance and connection. And I feel like it's just been within like the past maybe like 10 years I've seen that like shift happen. But even like a lot of the older men that live like we call it Cedar Grove, in the area where they really ranch and do things like that, like they've started calling themselves hands instead of cowboys. I wonder if that I have so many questions to ask.
Yeah, I would assume so, but yeah,
I'm gonna ask and get back with y'all.
I think that I was like really mind blown to know that was like where that name came from.
And I feel like that's such a general term that I would have never thought to associate it back to racism. Honestly, I would have.
It's crazy.
I call white people cowboys. Like it's just. It's a football team. I
I didn't even think about.
I really would have never even thought that was related to.
Yeah,
but you know what? Everything is racist. So
So,
like quite literally everything's racist. Yes.
Also, some other forms of racism that you're going to get are dealing with like horse breaking. So a lot of times, black cowboys or cowhand. I'm gonna call them cowhands,
right?
Because,
let's call them hands. Yeah.
They are going to be given like the more difficult livestock to break. As well, versus like their white counterparts. They're also going to be, but so it's kind of like back and forth. They're also going to be like when they're out in the field and like sleeping under the stars and in nature and stuff like that. There is a sense of community there, but it's almost like as soon as they get back to society, so as soon as they get back into town, or especially in the presence of white women. You find out that like these white men are like, like,
trying to throw their dick on the table.
Yeah. So you're having that happen. But you also have economic opportunities that are happening outside of black people being able to obviously acquire land, and it's less difficult to do so because out west it's not as structured when it comes to government, and so they're getting to these areas. You do still have some conflict. That is occurring where where you see successful black people, because you do see black people starting to thrive in this area, and black people don't like that. So
I was just thinking, so like horse breaking, I had to look at his name up, but my papa used to always tell me that black people were more connected to animals because we've always had to we were always the one that took care of animals, but that also put us closer to God because all animals are God's children. Like literally animals can do no wrong, right? So it like puts us close to God, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so I was just thinking about like the resurgence of like black people and like rodeos and things like that. So like his name is Ezekiel Mitchell, but he's a bull rider. And he was like, he did like a press conference where he was talking about like how racist and stuff like that everything was, and I was just thinking about like, it's so frustrating and demeaning that like they literally will give us like the most backbreaking labor and then still find the space and the time to be racist and to be awful, like especially when like they're in a community setting and it's like, oh, we're cool, we're like counterparts, and then you want to go out in public and like,
but I mean, I feel like everyone like black people in general like all have some kind of like experience like that, even like today, like
absolutely,
like at work or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Someone that like you just gotta be careful because people just kind of like
switch up on you. Yeah,
it's,
absolutely.
Interesting that you say that black people were considered more connected to animals, because I feel like white people thought the same thing because they took that and they definitely called us animal names. During that time. So a lot of racial nicknames are going to come from us being connected to animals because I don't know. Is it jealousy?
Probably,
maybe,
because again, animals can do no wrong, and they are literally God's creatures that He made just to be here and exist and like live their best lives.
Except roaches, because like why,
fuck that.
Because why did God say to Noah, like, sidebar,
Get two of them,
put them on this boat, like, anyways,
and also bees. I'm sorry, I know what good they do, but they also sting people. Bees, hornets, wasps, yellow jackets, that little cluster, that family.
You don't like them?
Fuck them.
All right. Oh, okay. Well,
I'm sorry.
She don't care about the trees.
All the beekeepers out there, keep doing what you're doing, but fuck them. If I ever see a bee, I'm gonna kill it.
She just wants us to not have oxygen. Like,
I'm sorry. Okay. All this technology, you figure out something, but I'm gonna kill it. I'm just being honest with you.
All right, cool. So you did mention rodeos as well. So
I should have worn my hat for this episode.
I want like Sandy.
Yeah,
Sandy
I should have.
Okay, cool. Rodeos are also going to be an opportunity for black people to make some money. Yeah, because we all know that what's America without a little bit of gambling?
Right. No, big facts.
So you're going to see this really big increase of these events that are occurring. This is also a time because, so many people are spread out across the West. This is going to be a time for those people to kind of come together. It's kind of like they're like a town hall meeting, if you will. So you have everything that's occurring at these rodeos. You're having political meetings. You're having economic meetings as well. So it's not just like we're coming together for fun and games. We're also coming together during this time to organize shit.
Is this the same time we see like the origin of the black rodeo? I don't know, and I have to look it up.
I'm not actually sure about that. Yeah, let's take a look. But during this time too, you have a lot of betting that's going on. But also with this too, white people don't like for black people to be really exceptional at a lot of things. But you have like a couple of people like what's his name, Jesse Stahl, who is going to become he's a black cowboy I'm sorry, I'm a cowhand who's going to be exceptional at bull riding.
Yeah,
like so yeah, so
it's my favorite thing to watch.
So he's gonna be really really he's gonna be very successful, and it actually helps him to begin. I'm not gonna say significantly wealthy, but he's pretty
made that bread, that money.
Yeah, he's pretty well off.
Shout out to him.
Also, of course, though, you're gonna have terms like harder to cover, where white people and in order to combat black success, they are going to start putting out these stories, basically white tears, yum, delicious, where they're going to be complaining about their mediocrity and saying like, oh, well, we were giving animals that are harder to cover. Like, so they're basically essentially going to, when they don't find success in these rodeos, they are going to start making up these excuses. Wow. And when in reality, what was actually happening was in real life outside of the rodeos is that black people were given the more difficult animals to actually deal with, which is, what do we call that? Irony. You also mentioned the Black Rodeo. Actually, now that I think about it, you do have something called the Soul Circuit. That is going to be like kind of like a prelude to the Black Rodeo, and the Soul Circuit is going to be in response to black people facing discrimination as they are cowhands and forming their own communities during this time.
Yeah, it says that the first official Black Rodeo didn't happen until like the 1920s, but I'm not sure like what grand scheme of that. Right? Yeah, like I feel like that's like but it says black. I guess we're not using the term cowboys. Cowhands weren't actually featured in like the major rodeos until like the 1940s. Specifically 1947.
I feel like that seems about right.
Right. Doesn't that seem like something that white people do? And I just know entertainment became so much better because let's be honest, if y'all have never seen black people ride a horse, like if you have never experienced like a trail ride or anything, and I don't mean like the trail ride at night where you just go for the party. I mean like the trail ride throughout the day where black people actually on like horseback and doing the things. Then you're missing something special. I mean, it is the most graceful thing I have ever seen. It is just something about seeing black men and women atop of a horse that just like brings joy to my heart. Like it is such a beautiful thing.
And you know what else too? I do want to give some flowers to natives, even though some of them own slaves. But like the overall majority of them were also persecuted as well too. So I feel like there's some kind of solidarity where black people are going to be able to like work better with Native Americans who like were the first ones to own and to work
I must say, they absolutely. Too, so. I wouldn't say domesticated horses because horses cannot be domesticated truly, but they were definitely the first to create those connections with horses and things like that, and actually teach other people how to do those same things. So absolutely, got to give credit where credit is due.
Yeah, we also would be remiss if we did not mention our boy Mr. Bass Reeves.
Yes, Mr. Bass Reeves, the Lone Ranger, the true
black Lone Ranger. So if you have ever seen what is that show that was on HBO? Watchman. What?
Yeah, it's on my to watch list because everybody keeps bullying me about it. But
Watchman is pretty good. But anyways, without giving too much away, it's an amazing opening scene in the first episode about. The show opens with the Tulsa race riots occurring, and it's actually the scene is phenomenally done. But the main character is actually in a movie theater at the time when like Tulsa starts to get bombed, and he's watching like this. He's watching this clip or this show where it's talking about Bass Reeves, and like that is his inspiration. And you can see that's like who he wants to grow up to be and stuff like that. And it's really intercut. That scene is really powerful because it's intercut with Bass Reeves like wrangling up these criminals and like the actual violence that is occurring simultaneously with the white people during that time. But anyways, Reeves is going to be like the Lone Ranger. He is really infamous as being a marshal during this time. So he's going to be working with cowhands and stuff like that, because as you move west, there is a sense of lawlessness because there is not a lot of structure. It's not really an urbanized area. So when we talk about the Wild Wild West, of course, we have to talk about like the bandits and the robbing and all this other stuff. So he's going to be actually super instrumental in creating some or establishing some kind of law or some kind of structure. And I really love that he was a black man doing this. I found that to be very significant.
I'll say it's also very significant because the origin of Rangers stems from Texas, and the idea of like actually rounding up like previously enslaved people that tried to escape. So like I feel like it's also like a really big turning point in history where we can be reflective on like how things kind of change and how we see black people kind of introduce themselves and change certain cultures and certain ideas of like what a particular thing is. But while we're on the idea of Rangers, one of the things that I loved about growing up, my grandmother will watch Westerns all motherfucking day long. Like, I mean, dog, like to the point where you'd be like, girl, we done seen this 5 times. Like, cut it off.
Enough.
Like, enough, you know? But I remember, and I really wish I could remember the name of the movie. The first time I ever watched a movie that had like a black man as the center, and he wasn't like a criminal. He was actually a ranger. And
I remember Saddles?
It may have been. I don't know the name of it.
But that's kind of like a here. Let's look it up and see.
But I remember being like, oh my God, they're for real. Like, I obviously knew they were Black Cowboys because at the time, or cowhands, excuse me, at the time I didn't really put a name to it because they were just like people in my life that did the things. But like, I remember being like, oh my God, finally, somebody of color that is absolutely amazing and doing the same things, even better than white people. It's great.
No, maybe not.
No, that's not it.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. I wish I could remember the name of it. It is. Yeah. Yeah. But it was so phenomenal, and I loved it, and that's just like a crucial moment in my youth. And my grandmother still watches Westerns, like
core memory for you.
Core memory, absolutely.
Okay. The last thing I want to touch on too is that when we talk about because Black people, we influence everywhere. So you're going to when you think about like going out west and in the country and stuff like that, you think about that folk music and bluegrass music too. So you're going to actually see a rise in that as well too, and that's going to also coincide with things as we move west. So yeah, that's the last thing I just wanted to chat about. But hopefully you guys learned a little bit about cowboys and bees, Tamia's hatred of bees, and how we welcome all your comments.
I'm so mad I didn't wear my hat.
It's okay. Maybe we can edit it in.
Yeah. Don't make me look like a fool, though.
Okay, cool. Nice. All right, cool. All right, so this is going to be another episode that we are going to wrap up with today of Bleducation. Hopefully you learned something, and if you didn't,
I'm just kidding.
The episode. Watch the episode again. As always, we encourage all constructive criticism,
and discourse.
And yes, and when I say constructive criticism, if you have a problem, come up with a solution. All right. Anyways, we will catch you guys next time. I am Brando.
And I'm Mia.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
What up? It's your boy, Brando from the Bando. Actually, I'm from the suburbs, not the Bando, but that's okay. I'm here to say thanks for watching the Polaris Network on YouTube. For exclusive shows and premium content, subscribe to the Polaris Network on YouTube right now. Seriously, what are you doing? Go subscribe. Go do it right now.